Hi guys, it's Rachelle here. If you are new to my channel, welcome. So I did a thing. I bought a lot of books recently. So this video will be a massive book haul and I will be sharing with you all the books that I bought. I'm actually really excited to share with you all the books that I got recently. But before we get into this book haul, if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon to stay up to date of when and what I post, and give this video a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's just get into this massive book haul. Okay, so the first few books I'm going to share with you I got a little while ago, like maybe a couple months ago. I've actually also read a couple of them already, but I've never actually mentioned or talked about it on my channel yet, so I thought I would just include it in this video. So the first book I got is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one of the books I've already read. I actually love this book. I gave this book a 5-star rating on Goodreads, and I never usually give books 5 stars. That's how good it was for me. This book is a historical fiction novel. This book is set in 1983 in Malibu. The 4 Riva siblings are hosting their end of summer party, which is a legendary affair, and by morning their house is in flames. The fire is practically fueled by secrets and long simmering drama. This story is really about family and what you choose to keep from the people who made you, and also what you choose to leave behind. This book was definitely a page turner for me, and I highly recommend you read it as well. The next book I got is yet another Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I got Daisy Jones and the Six. I haven't read this book yet, but I'm dying to read it. I heard this book is all dialogue, so I'm very interested to see how that is written. If you've been around for my channel for a while, you know I absolutely love the book The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, also by TJR, but I've heard a lot of people say that Daisy Jones and the Six is so much better than The 7 Husbands, so I'm really interested to see if I agree or disagree with that thought. I'm actually thinking about doing a reading vlog for this book, so if you want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. The next book in this haul is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, also by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Okay, so I read this book last year, but when I read this book, I didn't read my own copy. I actually borrowed that copy from a friend, but after reading this book, I was like, I need to get my own copy because I definitely thought I was gonna read it again because it was that good. By the way, this is probably my favorite book of all time. If you're asking me if you should read it, my answer is definitely yes. It took me so long to actually buy this book because I was very determined to get this exact copy. I was looking for this book with a matte cover, but every copy they had of this book in stores never had the same texture, so I never bought it, so I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting until I found this exact version of the book, and then I bought it. And as you can see, I succeeded because I am holding the book with the matte cover, and this is my copy. I haven't read this book for a second time yet, but it's going to happen. This book is about an aging and reclusive Hollywood movie icon named Evelyn Hugo. She is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life, and basically the story there is why she had 7 husbands throughout her life. She didn't marry each husband for love, so it's very interesting to read why she did what she did. It gives you a glimpse of what the Hollywood life and the movie making life was back then. And if you've been around my channel for a while, you know I am a filmmaker, so this book is practically right up my alley. But if you're not in film, I still think you should read this book because it's really good. The next book I got is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the Crescent City series. Okay, I honestly don't know why I got this. I think I only got this book because I'm a Sarah J. Maas fan as well. But here's the tea. I was about like 300 pages into the first book of this series, which is House of Earth and Blood, and I think 300 pages in is if not almost halfway through the book. Honestly, if I'm halfway through the book, I actually want to be very interested in the story, but I just wasn't. So I ended up DNFing the book for the time being, and I said I was gonna pick it up again in the future, but I just haven't done that yet. So I don't know why I got the second book in the series. I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, that when the time comes and I pick up the first book again and read it, I will actually like it, so I won't feel bad about hurting my bank account by buying this second book in the series. If you have read this series, please let me know if it's good or not and just give me some motivation because I really need it to actually pick up the series again. The next book in this haul is A Court of Mist and Fury, again also by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. In the entire series, I definitely think this is the best book, and I think a lot of people agree with that, which is why this book was so hard to buy because it was literally sold out everywhere in stores and online. And I actually couldn't find a copy of this book, the hardcover hardcover version in stores for a really long time. Almost a year, because I got this book a couple of months ago. So yeah, clearly it's a very popular book. I can't exactly tell you what this book is about because it is the second book in this series, and if I do tell you, then I'll be giving you spoilers, and I don't want that. So I'm just gonna say this. The first book was really hard to get into the story, but do not give up because the series gets so much better starting from this book. It's a thick book, but I promise you that this book will go by pretty quickly. At least I definitely think this book is a page turner. But yeah, the ACOTAR series is actually one of my favorite series. And of course, I definitely think you should give this series a try yourself as well. If you've never heard of this book or series, it is a fantasy with a little bit of romance in it. The next book I got is yet another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and I got Carrie Soto is Back. This is TJR's newest book, and I'm so excited to read this. What makes this book even more exciting for me to read is that I heard it's about a competitive athlete, which is absolutely intriguing for me because I love stories that are about sports, and the competitive athlete life is kind of something I can relate to, which is why I love it even more. The competitive sport in this book is tennis. I wasn't a competitive tennis player when I was a kid, but I did play a little bit of tennis for like a year or two, and I remember having a lot of fun playing the sport. So I definitely think this book is right up my alley, and of course I know I'm gonna enjoy it because it's by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and you know already that I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I actually want to read this book really soon, and I'm thinking about making a reading vlog for it. The next book in this haul is Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. I got the newest version, which is the paperback version. With this book, I was so determined to get the paperback version because my other Sally Rooney book is paperback, so I just wanted to get her newest book in paperback as well so they can sit together nicely on my shelf. I'm just very picky like that. I heard this book was good. I don't think I've heard anything bad about it yet, so I'm excited to read it. I'm really hoping I like this book because I didn't really like Conversation with Friends that much by Sally Rooney, but I did like Normal People. So I'm really hoping I like this book of theirs. The next book I got is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I actually did a reading vlog for this book, so if you want to hear my thoughts on this book, the video will be linked up in the info card. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this book a lot more than I thought I would. It's a very cute romance that follows Macy and Elliot, and the trope is childhood friends to lovers. I think you can also say that another trope is second chances. It's also a book that switches between past and present, so it reveals all your answers very slowly, but also it's not a slow burn romance or anything. But yeah, actually when I was thinking of buying this book, I really wanted the first edition of the book, which was the orange cover. And with this book too, I was again waiting to buy it until I found the edition I wanted, but I eventually just gave up because I figured they just didn't sell the old version anymore. So I ended up getting the newer copy, and I'm not gonna lie, this new cover is kind of growing on me. Actually, in the reading vlog I did for this book though, I did read the first edition copy. That book was actually my friend's. I don't actually own it. I wish I did though. The next book I got is another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and I got One True Loves. I'm not gonna lie, honestly, I think half of this book haul are books by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm a big fan, okay? I can't help it. Her writing is just chef's kiss. One True Loves though is one of her older books. I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy her older books, but I'm kind of nervous to touch them just because I get a feeling that her older books are kind of different in the sense that her newer and more popular books are all historical fiction books, whereas I think her older books are more romancy books. So it's definitely a little different because her newer books aren't romance centered. There's a little bit of romance in them, but it's not romance centered. So I guess I'm really interested to read her older books to see how or if her writing style is different. But One True Loves is not the only older book of hers that I picked up. I also got Forever Interrupted. I'm not too sure, but I believe this is another romance novel. But yeah, if you have read this book already, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. The next book I got is Sith by Neil Schusterman. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. I don't know if I am. This book has been on my TBR for a really long time, and I finally got the book. This is a young adult fantasy. I think it's also a little sci-fi-y as well, and I'm excited to read it. Let me just read you the back of the book. A world with no hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. Humanity has conquered all those things and has even conquered death. Now Siths are the only ones who can end life, and they are commanded to do so in order to keep the size of the population under control. Citra and Rowan are chosen to apprentice to a Sith, a role that neither wants. These teens must master the art of taking life, knowing that the consequence of failure could mean losing their own. They learn living in a perfect world comes only with a heavy price. Doesn't that sound exciting? It's definitely very dark and very different from the things I've been reading so far. far. So I might actually pick up this book and read it next. It's either this book I'm gonna read next or the next book I'm gonna talk about in this video. So the next and last book I got recently is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've heard so many good things about this book and I just thought I would give it a chance. It's another fantasy read that sounds very, very intriguing. Avery Grahams has a plan for a better future. Survived high school, won a scholarship, and get out. But her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune. The only catch? Avery must move into his sprawling mansion full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne House is also occupied by the family that was just disinherited. This includes the 4 Hawthorne grandsons, dangerous magnetic boys who grew up with every expectation that one day they would inherit billions. Heir apparent Grayson is convinced that Avery is a con woman, and he's determined to take her down. But his brother Jamison views her as their grandfather's last hurrah, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved. Caught in the world of wealth and privilege with danger around every turn, Avery will have to play the game herself just to survive. That sounds very captivating, and I'm sure you can see why I'm not sure what book I want to read next. I do think I want to read a fantasy, so it's either Sith or The Inheritance Games. But yeah, those are all the books I got recently. That is the end of my massive book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the books I got. If you have read any of these books that I showed in this video, please let me know what you think of them in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you think. Also, in the comments down below, feel free to comment what book you're currently reading. I guess with that, if you want to stay up to date with what I'm currently up to in terms of reading, you should follow my Goodreads and follow me on all my social media platforms while you're at it. You can find all the links to my social media in the description box below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Pull the key out the ignition. Run your mouth but I never listen. You hold me back, will never last. Keep talking all your shit. Wondering how all this started. You left me broken hearted. You flip my words, yeah, this love hurts. Keep talking all your shit.